Over the years, Nigeria has witnessed a decline in the state of infrastructure, from poor state of the roads to power. This has further led to a gross deficit in the nation's infrastructure. But the introduction of the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan is designed to address challenges in key sectors of the economy. My guest will expatiate on the master plan. Hello there, and glad to have you join us on the program this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. The National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan is a blueprint for accelerated infrastructure development that provides roadmap for building world-class infrastructure that will enhance the quality of life of the people. Well, that plan estimates that a total investment of about $3 trillion will be required over the next 30 years to build and maintain the nation's infrastructure. Wow. Well, we'll be dwelling more on that in our interview with the Minister of National Planning. But up ahead, the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party shared their manifestos on how their government will address critical infrastructure if they win the February 14 presidential election. A recent statistics by the World Bank says that Nigeria has about 17 million housing deficits, needing an estimated 56 trillion naira to tackle the problem. Little wonder that this issue and how candidates of the APC and the PDP intend to solve the problem if elected into office in February came to the fore during this inter-party debate. While the two parties agree that the problem exists and needs to be addressed, the proposed approaches, if elected into office, differ.
We're not looking for what the problem is. We'll find it out. The stakeholders told us it is the cost of the mortgage. And we said, what do we do? And we came up with a strategy. Let a man take a mortgage at 0% to him, and then the mortgage should be structured in such a way that by the time he lives there for 10 to 20 years, he's paid it off. Through what? Through the rent he pays.
Our government will, within the first year, try to raise, working with state, enough funds to build 1 million houses a year. We will need to create a mortgage market, and this is why the land reform becomes very important. Without a mortgage market, without the ability to transfer your title freely, you cannot raise money in the market.
Aside from the issue of housing, the two parties also commented on their plans to provide water for citizens and agriculture.
The reason why we are where we are today is that nobody has taken into consideration these basic issues of water. You need roads. You need infrastructure before you can start building.
We've built so much dams, up to 200 dams right now are in operation, and more are being built, both small and big ones. We also believe that the water provides electricity when you dam it. Water is also good for agriculture when you make it available for irrigation. Water is portably there, needed by the poor people.
This debate is just one of several activities between civil society groups and political party representatives ahead of the February polls. The overall objective is to guide the electorates in their choice of the political party to vote for at the polls. Well, joining me now to expatiate on the National Infrastructure Master Plan, which we understand includes dealing with issues of security and power, among several other issues, is Dr. Abubakar Suleiman. Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Well, let's begin now with what has been happening currently. We know that so much focus is now on the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan, which is becoming very viable. Let's understand how viable is this going to be, and just give us a breakdown of what to expect.
Over the years, we have discovered that our major problem in the country has to do with infrastructure. Infrastructure in the areas of road, in the area of energy, talk of power sector, you talk of ICT, you talk of transportations. You know, if you can get this thing key, other things could fall in place.
Get them working.
Yeah, if you get them working, you talk of the issue of investors coming into the country, you talk of the issues of, transportation, you talk of issue of job creations. You talk of insecurity in the country. If you can get infrastructure key, put in places, and close the gap, in the areas of infrastructure, the virus vacuum identified in terms of bad road, in terms of lack of power, electricity, in terms of things not working, in terms of agricultural sector not working. If you can get all these fixed, get them key, we believe development will be a thing of the past in the country. So having realized this lacuna in our takeoff towards Vision 2020, Mr. President now with Federal Executive Council now deem it fit to come out with a blueprint, a framework not in form of other frameworks. A kind of vision that Nigeria will key into. A kind of roadmap that every Nigerian will key into. And that was what informed the evolutions of the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan in terms of concepts. How we started it, getting Nigerians on board, getting technical working group on board, involving the vital sector, the business sector, the bureaucrats, the technocrat, governments, women, students, the society organization, getting them key. About more than 1,000 Nigerians, were part of the conceptions of getting this framework in place, so that it serves as something everybody buy into, we key into it. Where are we going in the next 30 years? So what informed this is that government realized that for Nigeria to really be at par with other countries, especially those developing nations that we started together with, talk of Indonesia, talk of Singapore, talk of Malaysia, for us to be at par with them, we need to address the problem of infrastructure. And that was what informed the evolutionary trend in getting Nigerians together with the head of consultants from United States to assist us to come with a framework, a policy framework, a roadmap that will see us realizing our objectives, of fixing infrastructure in the country. It's not just trying to lump all the sector. What are the priorities? What are those sectors that are in need of attention? So
how many priorities do you have right now?
Roughly about 7 or 8 priorities, are in places.
Which are?
Yeah, we talk of the energy, which is the key one. Energy itself is government. We are expecting to invest almost $1 trillion on energy alone. Yeah. Then you talk of transportation, which is government about 700. You talk of ICT, you talk of infrastructure, you talk of security, you talk of water, agriculture, down the line, So we look at what are the major deficits.
So in energy, over 1 trillion, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just going to be a contribution to what the Ministry of Power is doing?
No. What we have done in the master plan is to break them into sectors, which are the sector identified, and to break them into regions, sub-regions. We have 6 geopolitical regions in the country. What is the priority of the North Central? What are the priorities of the Northeast? Where are they more, why do they have more advantage than the other, region? We look at that, their needs. On the basis of that, we allocate portfolio. We projected investments. And what we are trying to do here is that governments can't, carry the burdens. Government doesn't have the wherewithal in terms of the material resource to invest into this sector. Hence, what the master plan tried to do, or is trying to advance, is to see a situation where the public sector, and that is government, importantly, we invest to the tune of 52% of the portfolio in addressing this, problem in the next 30 years.
There's something here.
Yeah.
We have a problem of sustainability.
Yeah.
Just like when we have infrastructures in place, implement or carrying it out or maintaining such infrastructure becomes a huge problem for the country. So how sustainable is this?
The document has taken care of this. You understand? It's one thing for you to plan, to make a projection, to have a vision. It's another thing to put in place mechanisms to actualize in that visions. We took into cognizance all these problems, and that is one aspect. Yes, we're not unaware of changes in government, instability, government come, government go, and that is why we try to carry everybody along with us. So by the time, we don't pray for that anyway, by the time government changes, Nigeria will see it as, it's not just for good luck, not just for any other person, it's for Nigerian people. Malaysia, China, they got to where they got because they buy into such a vision. So this one is a vision, and that is why at the various MDs, ministry, departments, agencies, both at the center and at the state level, there should be an implementation, unit for every ministry to key into it. 2014 was the starting point, and it's stopping at 2043. From the budgeting of 2014, we tried to impress it on the various ministry to come out with their budget in line with the visions.
Did you say you're working with state governments?
Of course.
Because they also have their plans in place as well.
What we are trying to do, which we have impressed on the state governments, let me tell you this, besides the NEC approval of the master plan, we had meetings with the various commissioners of planning in the various states. We had meetings with the various commissioners of budgets and finance of the various states. We are meeting with the various stakeholders across the various state level for them to tailor their needs, their budgeting along the framework. And we are